Hello, how is everyone today? I wonder, let's see, is there anybody out there? Who knows? I guess I'll find out in a minute or two. Actually, I only have a minute to go um, before the tour starts. So, um, oh, I've got a few people. Good, 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 good. Somebody uh, told me a way to post links to the tours. That was very nice of him to do. So anyway, I did that for the first time with this tour. I posted the link, so all you have to do is click, and boom, there you are. Instead of going to the page and having to look for it. So, hey Cynthia, how are you? How's everybody today? If you're out there, let me know you're out there. Say hey, because I can't tell. I can't see you, but I know y'all can see me. So, anyway, so here we are. It's 10:30. Time to get this show on the road. I am in Federal Hill, which is a neighborhood in downtown Baltimore City. It's very close to the Inner Harbor and the heart of the downtown area. The properties here, the homes here are very much sought after. It's definitely an upscale neighborhood as compared to the average homes, found in a city. This particular street that I'm standing on, I wanted to show you when I get ready to turn this around, because it is more upscale than the upscale ones across the street from the park. We're a couple blocks away, you see. So I'll show you that in a minute. But first, let me get take care of the housekeeping here. My name is Sharon, and I am known as the Bay Lady because I love the Chesapeake Bay area of Maryland in particular, and Chesapeake Bay also uh, covers Virginia and Delaware. So they all are touched by the bay, or the bay is touching them, however you want to look at it. So, hey, yeah, you know what, Carol Sue? You are absolutely right. We are, but not until 3 o'clock. Now, I was very carefully watching the news this morning and the weather because being up here on the hill in thunderstorms, I don't know how great that is, with real tall objects that can get struck. So, but it was raining most of the night, and then it stopped this morning, but it's supposed to be worse. They said after 3, like between 3 and 7. So I'll be home by then probably. So I'm not going to hopefully be affected by it. So anywho, so I am if no, I'm good. I have to tell you something. One time, no, not one time. Last year, when I was I was just really starting out, and I got rained on like a couple of 3 times, right? And ended up doing a lot of tour, like from under things, porches, stuff like that. So, on the third tour that I did in the rain, the uh, uh, the people on the tour were chatting back and forth, and one said that oh, she is she's going to get wet. Oh my goodness, what are you going to do? You're going to stop the tour? And the other one responds, no, she's fine, she's waterproof. So here I am, my waterproof self. All right. Oh, one more thing I have to say. All of the tours are free, virtual tours, but donations are most certainly welcome. tip, call it, or you know, donation. It just goes back into the channel, or back, yeah, back into my channels to, you know, pay expenses. I'm not looking to make money, but you know, cover my stuff. So gratuities are accepted and encouraged. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to turn this thing off me because I don't like watching myself. I'm going to turn the camera around. Unfortunately, with this platform I use, I have to like come out of it and go to settings and then go back into it. Not like Tego. I like Tego. It was pretty cool. All right, check out the houses in front of us here. This is oh, let's see. What is the name of this street? Let me check before I say. Oh yeah, Hamburg Street. Hamburg Street is one of those that goes just about all the way across the eastern half of the city, actually, because looking down this way, it dead ends, and then there's the harbor. And then going this way, it continues on the other side of those gates there. But going this way, it goes all the way to the stadiums, to the Ravens Stadium, and to also the Orioles. So these houses right here are so nice. Oh, there's a scooter. You can rent them. You just have an app and you scan it wherever you find one, and then you leave it wherever when you're done. You know, that's just it. Okay, the in fact, the house with the black door, scooters in front of, that's the only one with marble steps. So that tells me that these guys might have been redone at some point. So now you're looking at the park, Federal Hill Park. It's got a whole history, and it is a beautiful green space right smack in the middle of concrete. So I want to turn back around. Look at the decks on top of those houses I was just showing you. Everything is rooftop decks now in Baltimore. They're everywhere. And I think that they are really the coolest things, especially, you know, if they're high enough to give you views of the harbor or whatever, like this one up there. There's a deck. There's a helicopter flying above. Can't tell what he is. It could be news or police. Who knows? I'll only know if I get to see it. Okay, so here we are across the street from the park. Let me show you these homes that are across the street from the park. Turn around in a second. Not much traffic here because it's a dead end street. And really, the only people that come up, well, I shouldn't say that because there are people that do drive here from other neighborhoods to walk. This is a gorgeous park to walk in. I had to laugh. There's some going down that way. I'm standing in the middle of the road. Yeah, that's me. At the very end of the street, and I can't really zoom in, but if you were like to take a screenshot and then, you know, make it zoom, you would be seeing the stadium sticking up there atop all the homes in between here and there. Okay, there's a car coming, good, he's going the other way. Okay, looking this way, beautiful views of the city, which we will get to in just a minute. All right, so oh God, this is so cute. I saw these guys earlier. Look, these are moms with babies and baby buggies, and they're doing exercises. They're like Yeah, they stop and do exercises and all that good stuff, right? So here we are, Federal Hill Park, with oh, with a lot of the views here. I'm gonna stop and make. Hey, Carol Sue, I see. Oh, don't worry, Ronnie Lynn. Hey, oh, glad you're here. Anyway, if you guys can, I'll pause long enough if you want to take screenshots of some of the sites you're about to see. That is cool. Federal Hill. Here's the plaque about it right there. Um, I have um, I have the whole history of Federal Hill going back to like Captain John Smith as Pilgrim guys. So what I'm going to do is narrate, tell you about the history as we walk along the park. And you see the modern, you'll be seeing like the modern century, like now versus then. Okay. This hill has been here since like 1729, and it's always been here. And it's been so many different things. That's what I find to be really insane. So we're going to walk over here, start over here. I'm saving the best for last. Okay. So here you're just looking at park and playground and such. So I'm going to start telling you about Federal Hill. Okay. It was founded in, well, Federal Hill's been here since Baltimore was founded in 1729. Okay. It was first spotted actually by Captain John Smith in 1608, right? They spotted it. He spotted it, and it was a huge red clay hill, cliffs. It had red clay cliffs right here in the middle of, well, the middle of nowhere, I guess it was back then. So, hey Sarah, how's it going? Good to see you, ladies. Yes, indeed. So the little playground here. It's a nice playground. Actually, I want to go to the left, but I do want to show you the playground because it is totally, totally Baltimore themed, right? You've got a train signifying Baltimore Ohio Railroad. You've got a lighthouse right there because we have many. um, you've got a ship with flags because people came from Europe and settled here. And then you've got Fort Federal Hill, and that's what it was called back in the War of 1812. So let's go, I want to go over here to the path and tell you more about Federal Hill as you get to see the scenery. Now, this path, just so you know, it's like 10 acres and it's got two paths that go around the whole thing, circular, two circular paths, a lower one and an upper one. And we are in on the upper one at the moment. This park is very busy, as you will see as we walk along here. Um, anyway, okay, so this hill, Federal Hill, um, it became a city park in 1880, but long before it ever got its name, it didn't have like these beautiful trees and the shade and the landscapes that you see here. Um, it was jagged cliffs of hard red clay, dusty red clay that I'm sure got everywhere. Captain John Smith saw it. He was sailing up from Jamestown, Virginia, a settlement there, coming up the bay, and he saw it and called it a great red bank of clay flanking a natural harbor basin. Now, currently, the harbor is called the Inner Harbor, but way, way before that, it was called the Basin, left over from here, I'm sure. So, by the 19th century, Federal Hill was really a good part of the community by the early 1800s. In 1788, oh, where'd the picture go? I didn't like that. The seventh state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. So, Baltimoreans, there's the stadiums. You can see right down that street. And the path, that's the other path down there below us. So, the secondary path wraps around. And look at the staircase separating them. You'll see that in a sec. Here is another peek at the playground. So they were having this party, right? They were celebrating, and the celebration kind of got out of control. There were 4,000 people who converged on this hill that day. It was called John Smith's Hill. Look at the squirrel. Hey, dude. Oh, whoa, nice jump. Oop, lost you. Aren't you clever? Shoot. And here's more of the playground, the swing set. Actually, it seems to me there's three circular paths because there is the one going around the playground there, right? And then the one that we're on, and then the lower path. Coming up on the harbor now. Okay, so let me tell you though about that celebratory parade. Somebody made a scale model of a boat that they called the Federalist, and it was to be part of like the parade, and so they had it. Then, as the parade went on, they had it. No, wait a minute. The parade went on. That was the plan. Instead of it being in the place of honor on top of the hill, that's what was intended. Oh, look at these views. Shoo! From the top of this hill is intended. The boat, the Federalist, ended up sailing down the hill. I'm assuming the hill over there that we'll see next. Sailing down the hill, kerplunk splash into the harbor. And so much for that. So the celebration, it was so epic and the story became so legendary. That is where Federal Hill got its name, not from government or political things, but it was named after a model boat. Okay, a model boat called the Federalist. That's cool, right? I'm telling you, Baltimore is such a nice. I mean, to look at this, right? This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. Now you're looking at the beginning of the Inner Harbor. I mean, the downtown skyline from here is spectacular, for sure. Now I'm going to give it to you full on here. I'm going to sit down and let you see. My goodness. My goodness. Oh, okay. So There's M&T Bank Stadium over there, and you're looking at hotels and office buildings. And below, there's the harbor. Hello. Hi. Hi. Below, there's the harbor. And the inner harbor is what it's called now, and Harbor Place, named for the shopping pavilions that you see, the green buildings that are flat down there. There's some ships that are docked there. There's a marina. Um, Jet ahead, that tall octagon building. Is it octagon? Anyway, that is our World Trade Center, Baltimore's World Trade Center. And there's quite a few 9/11 memorials surrounding that building dedicated to New York and Pennsylvania and Virginia, so or Washington D.C., what have you. So, but that's another tour I do. I did one of those recently where we traveled from this end of the harbor, that's the Maryland Science Center, and all the way past the buildings. We followed the yellow brick road, actually, the red brick road. Okay. And we went around the front of the World Trade Center, and next to it, there on the right, are some of the monuments from 9/11. What you're looking at next is the aquariums. There are two connected by a covered bridge over the water. Behind that, with those four smokestacks, that's called the power plant. It used to provide power to the city. Now it's home to Hard Rock Cafe and other eateries. And then looking down here, you've got a restaurant, the Rusty Scupper, right there in the foreground on this side of the harbor. Across the harbor, where the tents are, those are pavilions. They have concerts and stuff. Oh my goodness, the nighttime concerts sitting there, in that spot right in the middle of the harbor with the city lights and all of that. Oh man, it's a spectacular place to watch a concert for sure. And that's just some of the housing that the buildings that are low, the first level of buildings, they're private houses. And then you've got a lot of condominiums and hotels and office buildings. I mean, it's a pretty busy place. But this is the view that everyone wants. This is the you know iconic Baltimore Harbor view, right? Let's see what else. Oh, this hill was a signal tower by the time 1800 came around. It they had, like, they would have somebody stationed in the tower just to keep a watch out. We're talking like 1800, few years before the War of 1812, right, when our harbor was invaded. The lookout could see 15 minutes in any direction, plenty of time to let people know. So their primary purpose was to work with the growing commercial. Okay, the commercial. It was a heavy commercial port here, and so they needed to keep growing so that they could bring in more commerce. So the watch person here at the top of this hill, his job was to also let all the commercial uh, boating companies that were here, when their ships came in with their supplies. If a particular company was waiting for a ship, they'd let the watchman know, and when the watchman saw the ship coming in, they'd alert the company, and then the company could be there to unload, get what they need. I don't know if you can see, there is a lighthouse way across. If you screenshot and enlarge, you might see it. It's far off in the distance, I have to say. So, all right. So then along comes the War of 1812, right? Well, this war is raging, and Baltimore is pretty much untouched. Let's look over here for a while. Pretty much untouched, right? And it wasn't until September 12th, 1814, 2 years into this war, that the British fleet managed to get into our harbor and attack Fort McHenry. Now, at the time, Federal Hill was a lookout. They called it Fort Federal Hill then. And also, there's another park not too far from here, smaller, less monuments, called Riverside Park. And that was called Fort Lookout. So, and again, for their spying abilities being high up. So south, just south of the city, okay, going to my right, is Fort McHenry. And so there were British ships that started bombarding it. And they weren't able to take it. That's another pretty view. They weren't able to take the city as they had planned. Our people at Fort McHenry managed to keep them at bay and didn't let them in, so they retreated eventually. Then Civil War came along, and Maryland was one of the first states seized by Union forces because our close proximity to Washington, D.C., and to the Confederate headquarters in Richmond made Maryland a very dangerous place. And truth be told, there were many Southern sympathizers throughout Maryland and throughout Baltimore City, too. Okay? So they had different garrisons stationed here during the Civil War, lots of troops on and off, kind of just protecting. So they even built a small fort up here, remnants of which I don't even know where they are. Rusty Scupper, the restaurant down here in the by the parking lot on this side, it's got an American flag flying. That is a great seafood restaurant. Delicious. Delicious. Impressive skyline, right? It's really pretty at night too, all lit up, I have to say. I haven't seen that for years though. I should make a practice of it. We're coming into a residential area. These condos, I've never seen the insides, but because of where they sit, I imagine they are spectacular. Absolutely spectacular, I would think. Okay, here is an example, I love this, of what Federal Hill looked like in the day, okay, when it was a fort. See the photo. It's looking east with Battery Avenue in the foreground. So that's that right where we're looking. The fort looked a little, I mean, the harbor certainly looked a lot different then. I wish I could zoom in a little better. Oh, where are you going? So, and then here's Fort Federal Hill. That was drawn by a soldier that was stationed here. By a 5th New York soldier. Interesting. Oh, the watchtower does sit up there. Definitely cool. Down there, the this building, those first three buildings down on the street below us, the one with all the mosaic and the one with all the ivy growing on it, and then the larger brick one hidden by the trees. That is the American Visionary Arts Museum. And you think it's pretty wild from the outside. Where do you see the inside? It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's see. And here across the street from the museum are condominiums, a lot more of them. There's a whole neighborhood, and it looks like most of them are, if not waterfront, water view. And then that tall one, standing so tall above it all, that I don't know what you call that building on top, but they run lights at night in the building, like changing lights that kind of light up the sky, light up the building. It's kind of interesting. Next to that, on the left, you'll see a sign, if you can enlarge it, that says Domino Sugars. That's one of Baltimore's iconic things. Domino Sugar has been here forever and ever. And recently, like in this decade, um, a they changed the sign, the original sign after, 100 some years. They changed the original sign for one running on LEDs. And so it looks the same. It doesn't really look any different. But they have pieces of that original sign in some of the museums here in the city. I believe Baltimore Museum of Art, no, Baltimore Museum of Industry has a piece of it. Maybe the apostrophe or something, not the apostrophe. They've got a piece though, whatever it is. Okay, this park has its share of memorials. This is to Colonel Armistead, down the harbor there off that way. There is a fort called Fort Armistead, and I've done tours with that. Pretty cool. So, but this is dedicated to him. He, let's see, he was instrumental in the War of 1812, the Battle of Baltimore in 1814. So he died when he was 39 years old. Didn't live very long, did he? Poor dude. Mm. Here's one of these bikes. They're all over the city. You just you scan it. It's got a QR code, right? You scan it and you rent how long you want it, and off you go. Woohoo! Oh, there's two of them. There's one over here too. Cool beans. Yeah, and they can leave them anywhere. I don't know how they keep track of them though. Probably not as well as they should. That would not surprise me. I think we're going to get some rain. The wind's picking up a bit, and the air is certainly cooling down. Okay, here is another monument I wanted to show you. This is Major General Samuel Smith. Okay, he was in both wars. Okay, he was in the War of 1812 as well as the Civil War. Or, wait a minute, maybe, nope, I'm wrong. It was the American Revolution and the War of 1812. He died before the Civil War happened. And this was erected by the then mayor of Baltimore. How nice. So, Robert E. Lee was secretary. Okay, of the National Star Spangled Banner Centennial Commission. Hmm. Okay. And one of the other very iconic things here in Federal Hill is that humongous flag. Okay, it is ginormous. You can see it all from downtown. Every time you look in this direction when you're wandering around downtown, you see this flag. It's humongous, amazing. One more thing that I want to let you get a good look at is this cannon over here. Here, here is a real cannon mounted here as a reminder, left here to be appreciated. There it is. I tell you what, that is one heavy, heavy thing for sure. So then, after the Civil War, I guess everything died down, and life in Baltimore just went on as it did. There was uh, in the early 1900s, they had what's called the Great Baltimore Fire. It wiped out a lot of what you're looking at there. Of course, what was there wasn't that, but it was burned up anyway. So, it was crazy. The fire was supposedly caused by carelessly tossed cigarette butt. Right? Crazy. It took like over 100 firefighters to finally bring the fire under control. 140 acres ended up being burned. So it's quite a score. Here's another beautiful view of the harbor and the street below. I'm going to show you more. I'm going to keep on walking down here, and then we'll have made the whole circular route. Wonder what they're building over there. It looks like two structures. I hope they include parking garages. For some reason, I am very fortunate to come here to this particular park. I've always easily found a parking space because it's crazy. Um, when I go to the harbor, there's no parking down there. You know, they have huge parking garages downtown, but they're a bit costly, as you could probably imagine. Um, hmm, just trying to figure out what that is. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna walk down to the lower level there. I don't know if you can see these two brick buildings on either side are parts of the American Visionary Arts Museum. And then in between them, there's a courtyard, is what you're looking at. And it has some metal sculptures there. There's a humongous bird made of strange parts and, and a bird's nest. And then there's an egg, and there's just all kinds of things. When they call it the Visual Arts Museum, they're not playing. It is so visual. It's colorful. It's so visually colorful. It can't help but make you smile. Really, it's amazing. And here is the street where we came in at. We're going to go down here. We're going to go visit the second or the lower half level thing. Oh, man, I want to see this. Hold on a second. Right here, okay, in that long brick building, you see a gold hand mounted on the side. Well, underneath that hand, that is a screen, a movie screen, projector screen, whatever you want to call it. It's in a covering in a bag, but they release it and it folds down. And this hill is covered with people, with blankets and little picnic foods. Every Thursday night, a movie. They show a movie off the side of the American Visual Arts Museum. I mean, how appropriate, right? Visual, visual, visual. Love it. I haven't done that yet, but I've been meaning to. To be honest, I can't find anybody to come with me. So, my husband does not like Baltimore. And actually, neither do my kids particularly. It's beautiful. I'm, walking around a lovely part of the city, but it's a very dangerous city too. So, um, it's a lot. There's a lot of gun violence in Baltimore. For some reason, anybody can get a gun. It's just too easy, and so everybody has a gun and tempers flare, and you got people shooting each other everywhere you go, everywhere you look. It's very sad, but unfortunately a fact. Yes, outdoor movies. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna have to do that because I'm sure they're not doing them um, into the winter, right? I'm sure it's just a summer thing. So, and here is a really nice house. Oh, I know. One more thing I want to look at, and so you can see too. There's a house, one of the houses I was showing you at the very beginning of the tour. This is such a cute street. Oh my goodness, look at these houses. Oh, and she does this garden. Look at this. I guess it all belongs to that big house. Wow. It must be a multi-family house, I would think. Okay, so we're right up above the street now, and I guess that path goes down to the bottom, so we're not going there. Look at those buildings with their roof all decked out. Wow. Huh. I love the city. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, so it's in my blood. Isn't this cute? This is such a cute little house. Look at this. Oh my goodness, it's lost in the foliage. Look at this. I love it. Your little flags. How cool. They're all so cute. It's like this little row of three houses, two houses. Huh. Nice, nice. And look at the, oh my goodness, look. You've got multi-level rooftop desks. Let's see if it's better over here. Look at that, multi-level. Boy, I could do one of those. And the flowers are so pretty. But, okay, it's up here that where I'm going. Look at this, a nice day for a walk around Baltimore. Oh, pretty flowers. And the rain's holding off. Hip, hip, hooray. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. I love that door. Look. Oh, something about Baltimore. Look at that. The stained glass. Oh my goodness, that is so Baltimore. Another iconic thing. All of these townhomes, when they were built way back, um, they had these panels, these stained glass panels. They call them transoms, I think. And I'm sitting here talking to you about it, and there's a camera watching me. So let's move on. Hmm. I love technology. That man looked at me like I was crazy talking to myself. But people walk around talking to themselves all the time on their cell phones, right? If you think about it, it looks like they're talking to themselves. Anyway, okay, so look, this building is for sale. And let's see, it's beautiful inside. Look at that. Oh my gracious. Kitchen. Like that there's a glare and you can't see it well, can you? See. Well, I am nosy. I am taking a flyer. This isn't it. South Boland Street. No, this one. Federal Hill. That's the one I want. Come on now. Give me it. There we go. Okay, Federal Hill. Nope, not that one. That's Eastport Avenue. I have a whole bunch of. Oh, goodness me. Okay, here you go. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Are, are you ready to see how much this house is listed for? Okay. Let's go across the street first so you can see it really, really well. Actually, you can't. Turn back around. Okay, so, all right. So it's the one in the middle. It says it has a, okay, yep, it's got a rooftop deck. It just sits back further. That's all. Okay. And it looks like it's got 3 floors. We don't know if it's got a basement. 3 floors and a deck. Okay. And the address is 333 East Hamburg Street. Okay. Are you ready? See that number in red? 1.2 million. Look at that. 1.2 million. You think location has anything to do with it? Plus, it looks like it's been newly renovated because that's a contractor's sign sitting on there. So, Ron Howard, gee, I wonder if that's the Ron Howard, that's Opie and the director and all that good stuff. I bet not. Anyway, I bet not. Okay, so I think that is all that I can show you. You can walk through this little porch area. Oh, look, they have the outdoor heater out there for winter time, and they got a fire pit over there. They're all set for nice, cozy fall evenings, right? And they're well protected. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, what you think? Was that good? Was that fun? I forget what I'm doing next, but you know what? I have, I do remember what I'm doing next. Saturday. I think that this Saturday coming up, I'm going to Ellicott City, and I'm doing 2 separate tours, one after the other, and not about ghosts. When do I ever go to Ellicott City? Not about ghosts, right? No, not about ghosts. But the first one is the ruins of the old Patapsco Female Institute. I am going to be walking those grounds and reading from a journal made by one of the girls that attended school there in 1847. So it's quite a read. So we'll get to. I have maps of the school back then too, so you'll get to see just how it was and where it was, right? Hang on, let me turn the camera back around here. Mm, there we go. Camera, go. Whoops. Don't want to lose it. There we go. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that is the that is the first one. And then about an hour or two later, after I have lunch at my favorite Ellicott City little haunt, I'm going to the Ellicott City Railroad Museum. Okay, it's the first railroad station constructed in the U.S. and it's the oldest, obviously, since it was the first. So they have a nice little setup there. They have it furnished as it was back when there was a station master there. And it's got some history, the roles it played during the Civil War in particular. So those are my 2 historic Ellicott City tours that aren't ghostly. So they're coming up on Saturday. So anyway, time for me to go down the road. Actually, I need breakfast, lunch, or something. Alrighty. Well, I hope you all have a good day, and yeah, that I hope everybody has a good day, a good week, what have you. And like I said, I think I have minute mysteries this week, and Beatles trivia, and just a few things going on there. So anyway, take care, and oh, thank you in advance if you can buy me a coffee. It's appreciated. See ya.